welcome, and I'm going to be doing 2 exercises today. So this is probably going to be no more than probably about a 10-minute video, but we'll see how we get on. So first exercise is going to be incline dumbbell press. My go-to. Do a lot of barbell, but to be honest with you, I love a dumbbell incline bench. So as you can see, bench just below me there. As you can also see, if I bring the camera over here, it is an exaggerated incline. Okay, just slightly higher than 45 degrees, I would say. So probably bringing in, yes, a little bit more front delts than you probably would want, so front shoulders, but really hits the top shelf and certainly hits your triceps as well. Okay, so a really good exercise to do. Next exercise behind me is going to be using the lateral pull down machine here. I'm going to be using the V-bar here, okay? So we're going to be working what's called the rhomboids at the back there, working on that thick back. And that's what we're going to be doing as our second exercise today. Okay, so let's take us through that first exercise. So my dumbbells within this garage gym go from 20 kilos being the lowest weight up to 47.5 kilos. Now for me, 20, 22.5, even the 27.5 kilos that I've got really aren't working into what I call my working sets. They're pretty much a warm-up. So what I am going to do though is I'm going to use 27.5 kilo dumbbells, which I'll bring into picture in a minute, just for that initial 10 rep set, and that's going to be my warm-up set, okay? It's not going to fall into what I call my kind of like 3 or 4 working sets, which are going to be towards those heavier weights, those kind of 30s into 40s, okay? But for me, this is a warm-up set, get circulation going, warm up the muscles, and get going. So 27.5 kilos, here we go. Right, so the first thing I'll always do before beginning my lift is just make sure I'm centered in the middle of the bench. Okay, also what I always try to do, just little things as well, just make sure that these dumbbells are sitting in the middle of my thigh, and that will aid me for a quick push up. Because what you don't want to do is kind of have to lift these with your arms, because again, what you're likely to do is throw your shoulder out, blinking anything from kind of tear, strain a muscle, none of that you want to do. So just putting it into the middle of my thigh here allows for a nice easy pick up with the thighs. Then all I'm doing here, I'm making sure that the dumbbells are just almost touching either one of my shoulders, and then I'm pushing up. Now as you can see, my positioning of my hands here is actually towards the top of the dumbbell. And I would always recommend that. What this does mean is you've got a slight angle in the lift. Instead of going straight, you've got a slight angle. Okay? And all you're doing is you're controlling it and coming down. What I'll also do is what I call box. So I'll almost bring the dumbbells together at the top. I'll come out the top of the box, come down for the sides and push up. Okay? So what you're almost doing is you're almost creating a roof and walls, and push up and bring into the middle. Okay, so again, create the roof and push up. Now when it comes to breathing, take a deep breath as you come down, as you exert maximum aggression into the lift, you want to breathe out. So, and that just means you're getting a decent delivery of oxygen to the muscles, and that circulation's working the way it should. So again, you box at the top, bring it down, bring into the middle, and then you're ready to bring down here. Okay. So again, it's all about just making sure nice and steady in the lift. You're keeping your butt, you're keeping your lats on the bench, and as you push up, breathe out, in at the top slightly, it's almost touching, create that roof again, and the walls, and as I've said, you're bringing those dumbbells, so the inside of the dumbbell should almost be in line just with your delts here. So it's walls, roof, roof, walls. And again, you've got that slight turn in the wrist, which means there's just a difference. Instead of a flat dumbbell, there's just a slight angle on the dumbbell. So up here, create the roof at the top, roof, walls. And at the top there. Now with this exaggeration, what you can do is, say for example, if I had this quite a low bench and I was lifting here, I wouldn't be able to feel that in my chest. However, all you need to do is just get your hands, put them on your thighs and start lifting up. So actually, for an easy one to do, just do this with one hand. And what you'll feel actually, if you start gripping, so clench your wrist, as you bring it up, you'll start to feel that chest come in, so that upper chest coming in here. So I can feel that a lot there. So straight away I know that's almost a great angle for me to hit upper chest. If this bench was slightly flatter, what you find is you're probably doing this and you're probably going to get very little in the way of upper chest activation. What you will be doing is there'll be a lot of pectoral major. Okay, so you're hitting the midpoint, the big part, meaty part of your chest, which is all good for flat bench. But what we're trying to do here is, on incline, we're trying to get that upper chest. Okay, so we're trying to get that shelf. And of course, use and utilise a lot of our front delts as well in this lift. So again, as I said, for an experiment to know if you've got the bench right, lift your arm up, tense as much as you can. And what you can start to do is you can start to feel, probably from this point, to be honest with you, I can start to feel that in. As I bring it up, I can start to feel that really locked in. So I know that's a cracking angle to hit my upper chest. So nice and easy. And as I said, that's really the way I know I'm at that optimum angle to be hitting that chest, upper chest there. Okay, now because I'm only doing 2 exercises tonight, so I'm doing that incline bench with dumbbells, and also, as I've already mentioned, lateral pull down with the V-bar to work the rhomboids and back, to get that thick back. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to do 3 sets and then move on to back. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to superset between the exercises. So I'm going to go from a push exercise straight to a pull exercise. That's exactly what we're going to do now. So I'm going to set up tripod here, and hopefully we'll be able to see that. Might think we move it over slightly. Excuse the angle here. And that should give you a much better angle there. Perfect. Excellent. Okay. That's a decent angle you've got there as well. Right, so what I want to do is I want to get uptight and familiar with this. So I don't want to be sitting on top of it, but I certainly want to be quite close to it. And I want the bar sitting underneath me. Okay, so that's perfect. I've got the cable underneath me. I'm going to grip. And I always go full over. So you can see all 5 fingers, including thumb. So 4 fingers, including thumb, going over that bar. And then lean slightly back, as you can see. And then I'm going to try to keep my elbows tucked in. So there's not going to be any flaring. I don't want to kind of flare as I would with a lateral pull down, working the wings. This is all rhomboids. So I'm keeping the biceps nice and tucked in, and I'm brushing those biceps past my lats. Okay, so I'm coming up to full extension. Head goes in. So really you're mimicking that pull-up position. So into this position here, pull down, brush them past your lats, and up again. Time under tension. So I'm getting a squeeze and tension at the top, and when I'm coming down, again, nice squeeze at the bottom there. And when you're squeezing, you should be able to feel that coming in. Okay? So to go over that again, what I'm not doing is, I'm not rushing through this exercise at all. As I'll see if I move it over here, I'll demonstrate again. So again, move the position to here. So again, as you'll see, let's move that up slightly. So again, I'm going all 5 over here. And as you can see, getting up close and personal. But you can see me as I pull it down, my elbows are tucked in, and I'm brushing past the lats and bring it down to my chest. As I come up, I move forward, almost sort of like a military press position on barbell. And then leaning back slightly, but bringing that in. And again, concentrating on the squeeze. So this isn't about trying to chuck a weight around and using as much momentum as possible. As you see a lot of the times, this is all about a controlled exercise. Tension still at the top, and as you bring it down, squeeze. So it's a squeezing exercise, bring them in and squeeze those elbows past the lats. Let's get in this position here, they drive past the lats, squeeze, and up again. So it's a nice controlled exercise. Okay, and you do that and I can guarantee you'll feel that in your rhomboids. Okay, so you'll really feel that in your back, right across that spine. It'll also, if anything, really improve your grip strength and everything as well. Okay, so that's that set done. Now we're back onto incline dumbbell. Okay, right, so we're on to our second set. This will be my first working set. So the first set was 27.5 kilos. As I said, that was really just to get some activation in the muscle, get the circulation going, bit of a warm up, because as you can see, I'm training in my garage, but now we're going to work up to our working sets. So I'm going to jump from 27.5 kilos, which was my warm up to 37.5 kilos, cast iron, pig iron, as you'll see. And again, we're going to go for a decent rep range. I'm looking at above 5, so anywhere between 5 and 10 to get into that strength and hypertrophy. So this would form, and I'm not going to go through it all on the video today because you'll be absolutely bored, but this will form what is for me kind of 4 working sets. Okay, so 37.5 again, halfway down the thigh, allows just for an easy pick up, slight angle, as I said on here, then pushing up. So again, you're working roof, walls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more for luck. 2. Now, as you can see, always controlled on the reps. Not rushing through the reps, not going all over the place. It's nice and controlled, breathing decent as well. I'm working around that roof, down walls, easy money. 37.5 kilos done. Now, as I mentioned, I'm not going to go through every single set with you today, but I'd usually do 4 working sets on incline and also 4 working sets on the back, V-bar, close grip for rhomboids. So exactly the same as I spoke to you about doing that warm-up set and then go straight into 4 working sets. I'll do exactly the same with back. So I'll take it off my warm-up set, which was on around 55 kilos, and I'm going to drop it to 70 kilos. So I'm going to go up by 15 for my working set from warm-up. Okay, so adding a bit onto that as well. I'm going for 5 repetitions, between 5 and 10, to hit strength into hypertrophy, and this will make my first of 4 working sets. So again, just because I'm going up in weight doesn't mean my form or time under tension differs at all. So again, you're getting up close and personal. When you're bringing it down, again, dragging those elbows past the lats. You're bringing up, not allowing the 2 weight plates to touch, keeping under tension. Up again. We go for 2 more. One more. Nice, excellent, good, good, good. Perfect. So as well as being able to feel that in the rhomboids, you can feel that in the forearms with that grip. So it's really going to improve your grip strength. But as you saw, what I didn't do was, I didn't neglect the time under tension. My form didn't waver at all. I kept the form decent. Time under tension was almost exactly the same as the warm-up set. All it was a working set with more weights on. Job done. Okay, so just before I let all of you guys get on with your general life, as I said, today really just wanted to go through some tips through a couple of sets on incline dumbbell press, as you saw, as well as that, some close grip using V-bar back exercises to give yourself a thicker back and really hit those rhomboids. So they're the two exercises we've kind of showcased today. Certainly what I would say from a general best practice point of view is have your working sets, do warm up. I know a lot of people say, never mind the warm up, go straight into your working sets. I think it's important to get that circulation going, warm up those muscles just to prevent any type of injury. And as well as that, at the lighter weight, it allows you, especially if, say for example, you might be lifting in a gym you haven't lifted before, it might be a different bench, it allows you just to get that stability going. Make sure you're in the right position before you start that lift. So I'll always do a warm-up set, anywhere between kind of 5 to 10 repetitions. I'll slow the exercise down, as you saw I did with my warm-up. And then sometimes what I'll do is I'll go through some explosive exercise, so really control it on the way down, then explode up. Yeah, and maybe then mix that up in the next couple of repetitions. So again, all you're doing is you're taking your muscles, as well as that, your body, through what is going to be the travel and distance of each lift. So just getting used to going through any of that. And as well as that, you can start to feel any niggles that you might need to be aware of before you lift as well. So for me, warm up really important. You then go into working sets. I always aim for between 4 and 5 working sets, especially on the larger muscle groups where we work today. And then I'll usually finish off with either a working set, or just as I started with a kind of a warm up, I might then finish with a cool down. And the cool down might again be going back to that warm up weight, but really just trying to rep out. So really trying to finish by exhausting the muscle as much as possible. But I do try as much as I can to finish on a heavy weight. Just from my point of view, I think your body remembers that, bizarrely enough. There's that muscle memory, and I always want my body or that muscle group to finish exactly where I want it to, which is on the heaviest weight possible. And hopefully next time we start, it will remember exactly where we finished off. Now, what I get quite a lot as well as kind of like working sets, what should we get, is around kind of how do I progress? And it's a very good question. Let's spend a couple of minutes talking about that now. So there's loads of different ways in which you can progress an exercise on. One of them, say, for example, could be through your rep range. One of them could be progressive through sets, and another one through the amount you're lifting or the weight you're lifting. Okay, so you could progress by increasing the weight you're lifting more times, so repetitions, or it might be that actually the progressive side of the program you're working on is actually building up the amount of sets you're doing. So it might be, say for example, I don't know, bench press 100 kilos. So you may well start off with that 100 kilos and say to yourself, right, okay, I'm going to do 3 sets of 5. So 3 sets of 5 repetitions this week. Next time I then do that, kind of 4 days time or weeks time, I'm then going to try either a heavier weight for those 3 sets of 5. That could possibly be part of your progression. So again, you're trying to increase the weight on progression, or actually you could look at it and say, instead of increasing the sets and the weight, I'm going to try to do more repetitions. But do be careful, depending on kind of where you're working at. What you certainly don't want to be doing is kind of working from 10 repetitions up to 15, because again, then you're working more towards endurance. So it's important you recognise those kind of levels, or those kind of, those bandwidths or weight widths, to know that kind of strength sits between that 3 to 5 repetition range. Anywhere between your kind of 8 to 10 is hitting your hypertrophy, or certainly 7 to 10 hypertrophy. Then really, as you're going towards those 12 to 15s, that's where really kind of that endurance is coming into it more than anything else. So you want to really stick around that 3 to 5 for strength, 7 to 10, 8 to 10 for what we call kind of hypertrophy, and then really anything around endurance, you're going to be looking towards kind of 12 to 15. Okay, So do try to kind of fix around there. As I said, so repetitions can change, sets can change, weight can change. And I suppose the last thing that I haven't mentioned is time under tension. So again, a lot of the times you'll see people blast through 10 repetitions on 100 kilos on flat bench. And we say, yeah, look how amazing I am. You then ask them to slow that down. So you say, right, okay, I want you to lift the same weight, but this time, instead of blasting through and almost doing second reps, I want you to slow it down. So I want you to bring it down in a 2-second interval and then up in 2 seconds. And then see if they can do exactly the same number of reps. I can guarantee they probably can't. But if they can, it was too light a weight to begin with. So again, reps, sets, weight being lifted, and as I mentioned, even time under tension. So there's so many different ways in which you can really kind of progress a program on. And again, you can kind of not necessarily play around because that sounds quite naive, but you can very much kind of mix those up as you go on. So you could have 2 weeks or a month where you're just looking at increasing weight. You might then want to look at how your body adapts to actually a change in repetitions, change in sets. But a really decent program will have a mix of those three, but in a progressive and effective manner. So hopefully that little explanation, along with everything else, has really helped you today. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Really do appreciate it. And it will just allow me to get better at those videos. And I really would kind of like some comments as well. If you'd like me to talk about any other types of muscle groups or take you through any types of different exercises, then please just give me a shout. A little bit of a kind of background on me just in 30 seconds. My name's Barry. I'm 46 years old, 5'10", weight on around kind of 85 kilos. I've been a personal trainer for close to about 17 years now, on and off, but I've been in the industry, kind of fitness industry, for about 28, 29 years. Yeah, so quite a long time. Big in sales and marketing, and a lot of them kind of videos you'll see will be on sales and marketing as well. So if you're in the industry, especially within that area, or even a manager, look out for those. But other than that, I love my fitness, as you're probably getting and gathering. So there's going to be plenty of fitness videos and plenty of sales and marketing videos as well. But I'm going to sign off now. As I said, if you haven't subscribed, please do, but also leave me a comment. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks everyone, and see you soon.